sitting. What a novel concept. And it only took me 1.5 years of this crap to figure it out. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Spin It Reviews, and today I'm going to be talking about the new album from Wavves called 5, or V, or whatever. Wavves, the indie rock band out of my hometown, San Diego. Always cool to see someone from there getting success. Fronted by singer, songwriter, and guitarist Nathan Williams. And as you can tell from the title of this album, they've been around putting out albums for a while now, since around 2008 to be exact. Personally, their first couple albums didn't really appeal to me, mostly because the really lo-fi recording got so overbearing after a while, but 2010's King of the Beach, to me, is where they really started to come into their own as this fun-loving surf punk band with a real knack for a good hook. Then came the Life Sucks EP in 2011, which is actually how I got into these guys in the first place, and it kind of expanded their sound a little thanks to some collaborations and songs with universally relatable titles like I Want to Meet Dave Grohl. But what really got me hooked on Wavves is their last album, 2013's Afraid of Heights. It brought in this awesome 90s worship with the kind of crunchy, angsty, catchy as hell, and kind of depressing alt-rock that shows a ton of influence from the likes of Weezer, Pavement, Nirvana, and even some early Green Day. Not only that, but Nathan's songwriting really improved here. The songs were a little more fleshed out, there are more memorable riffs in the mix, and the lyrics took a serious turn for the introspective that, while not without its moments of immaturity here and there, still painted a pretty potent picture of him as this lonely stoner suffering from low self-esteem, relationship issues, and nihilism getting in the way of his own ambitions. I'm not saying this was the most deep or complex album out there, but compared to what came before, I was really impressed, which only makes it more painful to say what a step back this new album is. It's a decent album for sure, but if I had to describe this thing in one word, it would be serviceable. I don't know, maybe it's the fact that Nathan embarked on so many side projects this year alone, but I don't get the sense that as much effort was put into this album. Now, on the positive side, that means that there's more of that carefree spirit that was seen on King of the Beach, and there's a handful of enjoyable moments of just simple, catchy garage rock that gets the job done pretty well. Like, I love the meaty, flange-heavy guitar tone and splashes of delayed vocal effects on the opener here, Heavy Metal Detox. The lead single, Flamezesz, is a lot of fun, and I really love the wonky keyboard tones that pop up here and there on the song, and the absolutely addictive chorus of Tarantula is definitely worth the 20 or so times it's repeated throughout the song. And despite the complaints I'm going to be talking about later on in this review, I'll say it's nice for such a labored over record like Afraid of Heights to be followed up with something a bit more low-key and natural. Those elements of older pop-style melodies do make a return here on a number of tracks, and it makes for some pretty solid hooks, most notably on one of the other singles here, Way Too Much. Though this also means we get total Wavves autopilot moments like All the Same and Crybaby the Closer, and on a 31-minute album, there's really no excuse for filler in my opinion. But my biggest issue with 5 is in the lyrics. For all his talk of problems that he's going through, rarely does he really go into what these problems or the source of them actually are. So it can be hard to connect or be all that invested unless you're just looking for some boring, all-encompassing, I'm depressed message. Sure, there's a mention here and there of some kind of exhaustion or addiction on Way Too Much, or on My Head Hurts and Heart Attack we get hints at a breakup, but for the most part we just get this broad self-pity, and in the case of My Head Hurts, some truly insufferable whining. And sure, he already talked about this stuff on Afraid of Heights, but it would have been nice to see how these problems have developed or improved since then, instead of just giving a vague and far less interesting repeat of it. Now, someone might make the argument that, who cares, man, it's supposed to be fun! Which, yeah, would have been perfectly fine if he took the King of the Beach approach of just just reveling in his own shortcomings in a likable, tongue-in-cheek way. But that's simply not the case here. We're supposed to feel for him, and personally, I don't think he's doing a very good job of it. That all being said, I do want to end this review by talking about a couple tracks that I actually did really like lyrically, like Heavy Metal Detox, which sort of talks about taking pride in being alone to deal with your problems without fear of what people might think. And the fantastic Redlead really mixes things up in the fact that it just gets noisier and noisier as it goes along, almost like the song itself is falling apart at the seams as Nathan is just calmly repeating, "I'm broken and insane." It's a really effective way of getting across that theme of mental instability found on a lot of this album. Just too bad the rest of 5 couldn't do it that well. Again, I'm not saying this is bad by any means, but I can't deny it's a big regression for Wavves, so I'm going to give it a 6.5. If you want some serviceable, upbeat, indie-tinged garage rock, then I suppose it's worth giving a shot, but if you want to get into Wavves, I'd start with one of their last 2 full-lengths or the upcoming Frights album. So if you guys have heard this album, what do you think about it? Do you agree with what I had to say? Do you disagree? Have any feedback about the channel in general or my current sitting position? Let me know in the comments down below. Share this around with anyone who might be interested. Like the Facebook page in the description for updates, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode of Spin It Reviews. Now, someone might make the argument that, who cares, man, it's supposed to be fun! But, who cares, man, it's supposed to be fun! Who cares, man, it's supposed to be... Who cares, man? It's gonna make for a great blooper reel.